cannot be contradicted. That we have governments in Washington and London more concerned with the borders of Ukraine and whether someplace called Kupiansk is on one side or the other of that line, even though it's been in 4 countries in the last 100 years, than they are about their own borders. We have already, and it's only February, 65,000 people, uncharted, undocumented, unvetted. We've no idea who they are, although we know most of them are men, and most of them are fighting age men at that, who are now being put up in at least 3-star hotels, sometimes a little better even than that, at the expense of the public, potentially forever more. When our forces cannot interdict a single one of the boats bringing illegal migrants or refugee claimants for asylum, we can't know which until their cases are heard, and their cases have a backlog of hundreds of thousands. And you have the same thing on your border. How can you have governments that care more about other people's borders than their own borders?
Well, George Galloway, Starmer was talking about enforcing the laws to send back some of these people who are filing false asylum cases, and you got offended and acted like he was a racist. So this guy's a freaking hypocrite. I don't understand. Like, he says something here and then the opposite somewhere else. He wasn't targeting the entirety of the Bangladeshi community. He was just talking about the asylum people who are coming from a safe country. The reason why he was talking about Bangladesh, because that was an example of a country that has been marked as safe, and people were still coming out and filing asylum cases in the thousands. I understand that some people might be, I don't know, an ex-Muslim from Bangladesh might have a case of that it's not safe for me in Bangladesh, but in the thousands marked as false asylum cases. And when your politicians want to talk about sending them back because they're false asylum cases, they're like, oh my God, what did the Bangladeshi community do wrong? What's the deal with this guy? Hey, Ali Dawah, did you know the guy that you're celebrating as the person who's doing a good response to Starmer? Did you know that this is what he says? Do you know that he's also allowing these people who are filing for asylums left and right to come into your country? Did you know that before? Did you check who this guy is and what he has said before you use him for making the arguments that you cannot make? Let me actually put back Ali Dawah. Oh, no, actually, no, yeah. Let me actually go put this video back and listen to the part that this Galloway guy was making his points.
They're hardworking individuals who support their families. SubhanAllah has given great services to the UK, but no, he is going to deport them back. Here is what this guy had to say. Let's watch it for ourselves, inshallah.
I could not believe my ears when I saw the video of Keir Starmer today attacking the Bangladeshi community. Not once, but twice.
People coming from countries like Bangladesh are not being removed. They will go back to the countries where people come from.
He attacked them by name. What did the Bangladeshis do?
Okay, what did the Bangladeshis do? First of all, he's talking about the specific Bangladeshi people who are coming from, he says, like, coming from Bangladesh because it's a safe country. And let me tell you what those specific people did, okay? So let me actually show you. Let me put this on screen. This is my source. I'm not going to go read the entire article, but I have a summary for you guys, so I will just read the summary, okay? See, I went and found these information and I summarized it for you, and I'm going to read the summary, but if you want to go do a deep dive, you could. So here's the summary. There has been a significant rise in asylum claims from Bangladeshi nationals who initially entered the UK on valid visas. In the year leading up to March 2023, nearly 11,000 Bangladeshis entered Britain. Again, remember, they're filing asylum cases from Bangladesh. It's not like a war-torn country. It's not, they're not hunting them down and killing them. Okay, it's not 11,000. Okay, 11,000 Bangladeshis entered Britain on visas and then lodged asylum claims within 12 months. This increase in visa abuse. Okay, this is not a far-right source. It's referring to these as visa abuse. Okay, that's what Starmer. This is what Starmer had to apologize for. For like, oh yeah, let's send back people who are abusing our visa system. Let's send them back. You must be racist. What did the Bangladeshi community ever do? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You have lost your mind. The fact that Starmer has to come and apologize for this means the forces that sees this as racist, sees this as making you he's the most powerful politician right now in your country, given how Labour is doing in the polls. And he has to bend the knee to saying the most basic things about enforcing your immigration laws. Like, oh, people are abusing the visas coming from Bangladesh. Oh, you singled out Bangladesh. You must be racist. And then he bends the knee and he says, I apologize. Yeah, you lost it. You lost it. You lost your country. What are you doing? You need to change this. So this increase in visa abuse has likely overwhelmed the existing system. In the years leading up to March 2023, there was a notable increase in the number of Bangladeshi nationals. Okay, I already read that part here. Okay, so this next part is going to be, oh, so why is this happening? Some Bangladeshi nationals may be using the asylum system as a way to gain entry and stay in the UK, even though their claims may not meet the criteria for asylum. The asylum process can be lengthy, and during this time, applicants are often granted the right to work or access other benefits. Okay, so you're like here, hey, I'm going to file an asylum. Well, this seems false. Well, let's take years into seeing if this is false or not. And while you're at it, here's some benefits for you. Let's use the taxpayer money to just give you some benefits while we wait for years to see if your case is actually valid or not. Amazing. Amazing. This may incentivize. Oh, so he says, the article says, the fact that during this time applicants are often granted the right to work and access other benefits, this may incentivize some to abuse the system. So even if here's the thing, this is how it works. They're just coming here. Even if they're eventually sent back, this is still a win for them. Of course, they're going to come abuse the asylum system. Let me come in, stay in the UK for a couple of years, just barter the entire, cost the entire legal system and into all their other benefits that they're giving me with their taxpayer, and also stay there. And even if they kick me out, I have made a good money in the meantime. I could just take that back to my country. And here's the thing. Somebody might say, okay, yeah, we give them benefits. Yes, they are making the legal system cost more money for the taxpayer, but they're also working. And when they're working, they're boosting the economy and they're paying taxes and shit like that. Well, I actually looked into that. Which we'll get into, because that's usually what I assume. Like, immigration has some boost the economy. Usually it does, right? But I actually did some research. I'm not just going to assume things, right? So let me actually finish this asylum part, and then we'll go to the economy, because I went and dug into 4 different studies when it comes to how they impact, the economy. The surge in asylum claims from Bangladeshi nationals has likely overwhelmed the existing system, making it more difficult to efficiently process and deport those whose claims are ultimately rejected. The increase in visa abuse has probably contributed to the perceived need for the UK and Bangladesh to a new, more streamlined agreement on returns. Addressing this issue of visa abuse is likely a key priority for both governments in order to ensure the effective management of immigration and asylum flows between the two countries. Here's the interesting part. This guy is saying, like, oh my God, the Bangladeshi community in the UK. Here's another 4th reason that you should be outraged. You know who should be outraged? You know who should be also outraged? The Bangladeshi people who came to the UK going through the legal channels. Okay, so you're like, oh my God, this is such an offense to the Bangladeshi community. If I was part of the Bangladeshi community, I wouldn't be offended by Starmer saying that we should be sending these people back. I would be offended by Starmer not doing something to send them back already. I would be like, what? I would be like, hey, what's happened to my rights? I went through the procedure. I did all the legal things. I took all the steps necessary to come here legally. Why are these people coming in illegally? I would be offended. I would be offended as a Bangladeshi. But why are you letting these people in? You know the hoops that I had to jump through to come to this country. Why are these people? Why are you making it so easy for these people? I came to this country because this is a country that respects the rule of law. Why are you not enforcing your own fucking laws? And you know who else? Here's a fifth source of anger and outrage. People who need asylum. You know, if you are an ex-Muslim Bangladeshi being hunted down by Muslims in Bangladesh, trying to get out of there, trying to go to a safe country where your life is not in danger, you should be angry. So the Bangladeshi that is stuck in Bangladesh because 11,000 people are abusing the system, even though they're not in danger for their own economic gains, I would be offended as a legitimate asylum seeker. That's who should be outraged. So both the Bangladeshis that are in the UK, who came here legally, and the Bangladeshis who are in Bangladesh, who are in danger, who are in because they're not 11,000. Their claims are not going to get processed because these idiots have overruled the system. Look at the misplaced outrage all around. The racism allegation. They're not actually prioritizing, they're not enforcing the laws that you already have in if this is so racist against Bangladeshis, why is Bangladesh has signed this agreement with the UK? Oh wow, the Bangladeshi government has signed an agreement with the UK that is racist against Bangladeshi people. That Starmer is like, yeah, maybe we should be enforcing that. No, oh my God, I'm sorry, I'll take that back. I didn't want to be racist. I apologize. Amazing. You guys have lost it. Like what? Like why are you not outraged that people are outraged? Why are you not outraged? Where are the British people? Where are the British people attacking Starmer for this apology? I see people in the UK attacking Starmer for making this, for trying to enforce the laws. I'm not seeing people in the UK being outraged that he made this apology for bending the knee. That's what you should be angry about. Oh my God.
Support Labour, generation after generation, only to see themselves on TV being spoken about as if they were illegal aliens arriving on the beach on the south coast. The Bengalis are the hardest working people in Britain, working till 2 o'clock.
Okay. The Bengali people are the hardest working in Britain. Okay. That seems like something to support a community, but that's at the expense of everywhere else, everyone else. Like, are you sure about that? Like, this is not a support of the Bengali community in the UK. This is an attack on everyone else. Do you have any source that the Bengalis are the hardest working people in the UK? Do you have any evidence? Because I was like, oh, really? That's interesting. Let me go find some credible sources that actually shows that that's the case. And I found nothing. I found nothing to suggest that. In fact, I found something that was quite illuminating that actually changed my mind about immigration to a certain extent. But do you want me to show my studies? Okay, let me actually highlight. This is what I found. Okay, so these are my sources. This and this, and then this, and then this. Okay, again, I'm not gonna go and just do a deep dive in all of this. I just want to show these on the screen so that if anybody wants to go do their own deep dive, they could do that. Okay, but here's what I found when it comes to the impact, the economic impact, because when you're talking about hardest working, how do you measure work? You measure work by the contribution people have to the economy, right? And I used to say, immigration in many cases is a net positive to the economy, but the economy is not all. Long term, if your values and the culture of your society changes, the net cost to the economy would be negative. But based on the research that I've done, even when it comes to accepting immigration from certain countries in the UK, that's not even the case that this is a net positive. So this is what I found. So let's actually fact check everything that these people are saying, right? This is based on UK studies by the government. Like this is not like a far right claim or something like that. Okay. This is what they found. A small amount of high-skilled immigration can be beneficial for UK GDP per capita and productivity. However, this is new to me. I didn't know this, okay? However, the majority of immigrants, around 70%, have been working in low and medium-skilled roles, which has likely been a physical cost for the UK rather than a benefit. Wow. Okay. Migrants. This is insane. This is insane. I didn't know this. Migrants from the EU. Okay. Not migrants from these Islamic countries or other places. Migrants from the EU, original member states, made a net positive fiscal contribution of over 4 billion in 2016 and 2017. So this is migrants that are coming from other EU countries. In contrast, non-EEA migrants cost the exchequer 9 billion in the same year, significantly outweighing the positive contributions from EU migrants. Estimates suggest that immigration has been a considerable net fiscal cost to the UK, with one study finding a total cost of 114 billion from 1995 till 2012. And these are the years that immigrations were not as high as we have them right now. More recent estimates put the annual net fiscal cost to around 13 billion in 2014 and 15 and 4.3 billion in 2016 and 17. Migrants from EU original members, so we get into more details over there. The difference in fiscal impact suggests that EU migrants, particularly from the original member state, tend to be more economically productive and contribute more to the UK economy per capita compared to non-EU migrants. Let me see. Well, the annual cost. So yeah, I'm not gonna get into so much detail, but because my summary is actually longer than what I just read you. But it gets more darker and darker the more I read about it, right? So that's what, like, when I went digging to figure out, like, where is he getting this whole Bangladeshi community are the most contributing and the most hardest working, I went to look it up, and I found that no, if you want actually migration that improves the UK's economy, you should just focus on migration from other EU countries or skilled labor. Low skilled workers, it seems to be having a net. And here's the thing. Why is it a net cost? Here's the reason why it's a net cost. Because, like, why is it a net cost? They're coming and working and paying tax. Okay, so here's the reason. This means that the taxes and other economic contributions of EU migrants from the original member states exceeded the public services and benefits they received from the UK government. In contrast, non-EEA, EEA means non-European Economic Area migrants, which includes those from outside the EU, cost exchequer 9 billion in the same year. This is why this is a cost. This means their use of public services and benefits outweighed their tax contributions. The difference in fiscal impact suggests that, I already read that part. So basically everything that the so-called far-right parties have been telling the public for years, the studies from UK's own government has been saying the same things. The studies that the UK government conducts themselves says the same things. But if you say that publicly, you all of a sudden become far-right. By the way, I noticed that in France, that Marine Le Pen's national rally has now the highest number of seats than any other party, the news is like, oh, the far right is in power right now. The term far right is used to show that you are the exception, that you are unique, that you are the minority. How are you still far right when you have the highest number of seats? Like, you're the norm. You're the norm. Like, you're not the far right, you're just right. All right, let's listen to this rest of this. Hold on.
2 o'clock in the morning they get home. The people in the kitchens, waiting on the tables. They've built a multi-billion-pound industry in Britain.
Yeah, this is not, these are anecdotal evidence. Okay, if you want to actually check the impact, you go look at studies like I do. You don't give examples, you actually look at the net. Okay, what is the net effect? The net effect. I check the net effect. You're just using one, you're just looking at one side of the picture.
They've made more contribution to the economy of Britain, head for head, of any population in Britain, and then they're getting
citation needed, sir. Citation needed. I gave my citation. Where is your source?
attacked
People coming from countries like Bangladesh are not being removed.
as if they were some kind of dirt that we have to sweep off our doorstep.
Oh, yeah, guys. So people coming out and abusing your visa system, abusing your asylum structure that you have in place, and you're like, okay, these are illegal, we should send them back. That is treating people like dirt. Apparently, to not treat people like dirt, you should just basically ignore the rule of law. For you to be humane and, you know, compassionate, you should just basically it should just be a free-for-all. Okay, you should just why even have a border then? Why even have a border? Let's be compassionate. Let's just get rid of the very concept of a nation state, just to be compassionate to people. What are you talking about? The very foundations of your society is rest upon you protecting the border integrity of the nation state. And then you have the laws that you're supposed to execute, and you're not even doing that. And that makes you what? That makes you treating people like dirt? In fact, you're treating your own citizens like dirt if you do not protect them. Using the very same laws that you have already put in place, if you don't enforce the laws that you have in place to protect your citizens, you're the one who's treating people like dirt. The people that, as the government, you are in place to protect.